Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. Listener discretion is advised. Trenton Lavell Wainwright, professionally known as, up to this point, Lavetti Vegas, has been doing comedy in the Omaha, Nebraska area and around the country for a few years now. In 2019, he decided to shift things into a higher gear and take his comedy to the next level with his showcase called Comedy Society. Now he's put that endeavor to rest and shifting gears yet again with a project called Food and Laughter, hosted by himself and his fellow comics in the Three Comic Mafia. It sounds like he's having a moment right now and it's a good time to level up, and he's on the podcast today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Caught on the Mic. Man, we've been trying to make this happen for some time. I've got stand-up comic and my friend Lavetti Vegas on the show today. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm finally glad we got to do this, man. It's been a long time. We just got to get this together, man. We finally got it together. But
Yes.
I'm happy to be on Caught on the Mic, man.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, especially the fact that you're from a place near and dear to my heart, Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
I've got people from all over the world listening to the show now, and anytime I have the opportunity to have somebody local from a place I love so much like Omaha on the show, I love to take advantage of that. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you the microphone and give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us your origin story.
I'm Lavetti Vegas. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm a comedian, been doing comedy for a little over 3 years. Been directing, hosting, producing local TV show called Comedy Society, which just ended not too long ago. We're going to actually touch on that too, because boy, people just, they my friends, so I don't really want to say too much, but I'm actually ending that, starting something called Food and Laughter, where I'm going to have entertainers come on and interview them. But I've been doing comedy for a little over 3 years. I love doing it. It's dear to my heart. I still got some work to do, but I try to make people laugh as much as possible and try to get booked as much as possible.
How did you find your pathway to comedy?
Man, by accident. I tell this story almost all the time. So check this out. So I was working at Cold Stone Creamery. Was a general manager at Cold Stone Creamery. I had a friend who actually did comedy, and Cold Stone is in Village Point, the one in Village Point. So they have these meetings for everybody who's like any business that's in Village Point. They have these meetings once a month. So also they had like a comedy club. I was like, man, I didn't know anything about the Funny Bone being in Village Point. You know, I knew about it, but I didn't know it was in Village Point. And the lady at the time who runs it, she was like, oh yeah, we got this thing called Clash of the Comics, and it's for new comics, whatever. So I was like, man, I gotta call my homeboy because I know he just started doing comedy. This would be great if he did this. You know what I mean? So I emailed her and was like, hey, I got a guy that wants to do it, whatever. Then I was calling him, everything. He's just so terrible at communication. I hit him up, everything I possibly can do. He never was responding. She responded faster than he did. She was like, hey, this is not a management type thing. If your boy wants to do it, then he can email me. But since you emailed me, either you do it or nobody do it. And I was like, okay. So I was even going to play the system and be like, look, just tell her you me and go on stage and whatever. Still, just the opportunity. He didn't want to do that. He left it alone. He was like, I'll email her. He didn't even do it till like a year and a half, 2 years later. But that's beyond the story. So I went up there. I bombed, of course. I did terrible. I got all these people just to bomb at the Funny Bone. It was terrible. But that was like 2014. And then I just kept, I didn't do open mics, didn't do shows. I just kept trying to do that. And when I just kept trying to do that, I started taking it seriously in 2019 is when I started taking it seriously. And I started taking it seriously and I've been doing it ever since, man.
So how would you describe your brand of comedy?
All over the place. Unorganized.
Yeah.
I need to do better at what I've been trying to do lately is be better storytelling. I used to be one hitter quitters, like quick 20, 30 seconds. I just tell a joke, bam. You know what I mean? I need to be better at telling stories, which I have, but then my stories are starting to become too long. I need to have punches in it. So right now it's all over the place, man, to be honest. I used to go by the sensitive diabetic, but then I didn't have that many diabetes jokes. So it's like, well, why are you going by the sensitive diabetic and you only got one diabetes joke, So it's all over the place. I'm just, to be super honest, I talk about relationship, I talk about my son, I do talk about diabetes, talk about my job, right now. But yeah, that's what I mainly talk about.
So I was going to create a piece of content based on a stand-up comedy special I watched over the weekend with my son. Gabriel Iglesias, the fluffy guy. He has a new special on Netflix, and one of the things he was talking about was cancel culture and why he avoids the topics of politics, religion, and sports.
In sports. All right,
yes. And I loved that bit because, and why I'm going to create a piece of content in relation to that is because I avoid at least politics and religion for the same reasons, because it's divisive material, but it's the lowest of low hanging fruit. Do you find that you either have to work with that or find yourself on the outskirts, on the fringes, if you don't involve politics or religion in your bits?
It just depends. Politics and religion, I did talk about politics was like something that was like a quick hit. It wasn't like, just be honest, like, if I, a room full of white people, just be honest, I'll be like, man, damn, they said I was at the Funny Bone at a Trump rally, something quick. You know what I mean? Right. But it ain't really, it's just because of a bunch of white people. It's like if somebody, I met, it just depends. Like, you see a room full of black people, like, well, I thought I was at the Funny Bone, not Wakanda. You know what I mean? Like, the same context. Quick, get it out. I don't get deep into it.
Yeah.
Religion, I definitely never talk about. Actually, I don't talk about religion. I did have this joke. I haven't even did it in a while. It's funny. A joke about this girl that was role playing with holy water and the Bible, and she had a Bible verse as a tramp stamp. You know what I mean? And it was, I haven't did that joke in a while, but that's not really hit religion. And sports, I know so much about sports to where like it sort of does suck because, one of my quick hitters was talking about like any city I went to, like when I went to Atlanta once, like a couple years back when I first started. And, it got a bad, and I should have known because it wasn't hitting. Every city I went to, I kept using a different team. And I kept thinking it was funny, and it fucking wasn't. Or it was to a point. And, I'm like, hey, man, what's up with the Falcons? Yeah, I went to Atlanta first, open them. What's up with the Falcons? And they was like, they suck. Somebody said they suck. I'm like, yeah, they do suck, don't they? I said, they suck, man. I said, last time I liked something that sucked, it was my ex-girlfriend. And nobody really laughed. They're like, oh, shit. The fuck? Like, what the fuck is this? It's because they hate you. I'm talking about their team and I'm disrespecting the woman. I don't know what happened. But I did it in Lincoln. I did it with the Huskers. They've been sucking for a while. Boo! I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I can't keep talking about sports, man. So then when I did switch it, I talked about the Bubba Wallace situation with when he said he saw a noose. And then it ended up being like a garage opener. It was ridiculous. So I can keep going on about the sports stuff. Sports I have dove into a lot. Yeah. Sometimes you want to talk about popular stuff and stuff that actually people know about. You don't want to talk about something people don't know, or you know what I mean? And they're like, why is he talking about this team? You know what I mean? So
Right.
It's nothing that I avoid. I did say an insensitive joke years back, but I refuse to do it again, especially with everything's going on. I got booked like 4 shows off of it, but so with America nowadays, the joke, the premise, like if you listen to it, no, I wasn't talking about the man. I was talking about like how terrible it would be. You know what I mean? And personally, I still think it's funny. I still think it's funny because it's the attempt of when people do jokes. I still think the joke is funny. To be honest with you. But it's a little disrespectful to the man who passed away or whatever. So
the reason I brought that up, and I'm glad you kind of filled in the blanks there, sports, it doesn't bother me to talk about sports, namely because most of the people I have on my show that are athletes are pro fighters. So like we're talking about fighting in the first place. But the politics and religion part, you know, when you're trying to grow a brand, you're trying to establish yourself as a brand, because as a comedian, you and I share that kinship where we are the brand, right? It's the person is the brand. That right now, politics and religion are so divisive that is how you are going to get the most engagement in a algorithm driven and social media engagement driven society. It's really hard to to use wrestling terms. It's really hard to put yourself over if you're not willing to go into those territories.
I wouldn't say that, because to tell you the truth, I'll be super honest with you. Those three topics ain't really that funny.
They're not.
In my opinion, when people talk about politics, I'm like, let me fast forward. When people talk about religion, I definitely I don't care how funny a religion joke is. I'm not even going to mess with it. In sports, it just depends on the crowd. Like, sports can be funny, but it depends on the crowd, depends on the joke.
Right.
As everything. But I'm just saying, like, those three subjects, when I watch specials, people barely talk about them. And it's not really anything that hits like a home run to me. Like, yeah, this was funny. You know what I mean? Like, nothing hit a home run to me when I see all that. So I think it's more how far you cross the line, with your algorithms and everything, and what you talk about and how much you talk about it. So it is pretty tough.
Well, not even from a comedic standpoint, but just from a situational observationalist standpoint. Like, the best situational observationalist of our time is probably Dave Chappelle. And then before him, I would say George Carlin, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But they caught a lot of controversy because they weren't able to go a toe over the line that left them open to misinterpretation.
That's what's funny. You bring up Dave Chappelle. Of course, he's one of the most popular ones. But I had a transgender joke before he did. Right. You know what I mean? And I caught flack for it in Denver like 2 years ago. But it's like, but since I've done it, I even caught flack on it. You can watch it. It's on my page, The Real. And a lot of people like, he's homophobic, he's transphobic, he's this. But it's like, I'm not even talking about a human being transgender, you know, and people like, that's not original. I've heard people say this and says, oh, this is a transgender, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I never even heard of it. So people call me unoriginal, they call me a hack, they call me transphobe. But some of that shit, you just got to let slide. Somebody told me, don't read the comments. It's one of the worst things you do. Just don't even, you can have a great set. Somebody's going to say something. I'd have had a homegirl on Jimmy Fallon. I'd have had a girl that I'd known on Jimmy Kimmel. I just seen her on Jimmy Kimmel. And then some dude I was just a friend, he's like, yeah, I was just on James Corden. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And when I read the comments, it was terrible. But again, they made it. They on there. They can say, hey, I was on Jimmy Fallon. I can't say that. A lot of people can't say that. So it's like, you know, what you don't read the comments, and when you cross that line, it's just, then you just cross it. You know, there's a dude here that got a Kobe joke. First, when Kobe first passed away, I was like, dog, I don't want to hear that shit. Now I'm like, okay, you know, but still, it's like, you know what I mean? It's just how close or how much are you important with, you know, or in tune with what's going on, and you know, Dave Chappelle can cross the line and he's still gonna get people to do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and again, if you listen to him, you know, it wasn't, to me, he's still a great comic, and what he's trying to, I know what he's trying to say, but you know, sometimes it's the time and the place too.
A great observation as well, because, you know, in regards to you're mentioning the Kobe joke, is there a point in time where you can get enough distance from a tragic situation where you can make light of the situation, or is it always disrespectful, you know? And
it's probably, but what's funny is it depends on who it is. Like, I guess it just depends on who it is, because, okay, so the dude I know that had a Kobe joke, he said, oh man, I had a Kobe joke, but it wouldn't land. Now, to me, that was hackish. I think anybody could have said that personally. Right. You know what I mean? You didn't put no thought in it. You just wanted to fuck with people's heads. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, where's the line? You know what I mean? Like, where can you talk about this person if this didn't happen, or can you talk about this person if that is, like, where can I talk about people and in a bad way.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna win. Like I said, personally, it's a George Floyd joke I had. And if you listen to the joke, it's like, okay, he's not talking about George Floyd. He's talking, but it is fucked up. It was, fuck it, I'll say it. It was the NBA when the NBA let players have, social injustice stands in the back, And I said I was like, you don't want to be a white announcer or any announcer with social injustice stands in the back. Can you imagine trying to call that game? So I said, example, somebody says Black Lives Matter on the back. Black Lives Matter for the 3. Oh, it's a miss. Black Lives Matter, but not tonight. But you're talking about the name, right? And it's about to get thin. I know this is gonna get recorded, but I'm gonna just throw it. So then I said, can you imagine if somebody had George Floyd on the back of their jersey? People grown a little bit. And I said, they're playing suffocating defense on George Floyd. He can't breathe. Everybody, now, people that knows comedy was like, damn, he crossed the line, but that shit's funny. But then you got America's like, oh, he's talking about George Floyd. But it's like, I am, but not really. I'm talking about you couldn't have names on the back of NBA jerseys and be a sports announcer. I couldn't do it because of shit like that. Because shit can get misinterpreted. Just like, and this don't really got nothing to do with that. But talking about sports, some dude Westbrook was hot. I remember this was a couple years ago. Westbrook was so hot at this game. This dude was like, he's out of his cotton picking mind. He's hot, and he got fired because he said he was out of his cotton picking. Stop. That is a phrase that's been used so many times when somebody is hot on the streak of anything. You've heard that phrase. That had nothing to do with race, and that dude lost his job because of it.
Yeah.
But again, going back to what you were saying, again, even that George Floyd joke, it's like, it's so, especially because of what Kanye been doing. It's like, man, I can't say that joke. I can barely say that joke then. I can say that joke now, man. And I couldn't say, I think it's worse now than it would have been then when it actually happened. But I wasn't talking about him, but that's how the ears going to hear George Floyd can't breathe. Oh, he's fucking talking about him. And it's just like, damn, man. So I got booked like 4 shows off of it, and then I just was like, man, I can't do this show. Even one club was like, if you come, can you do this show? And at the time, I'm fresh. I've barely been doing comedy. So I'm like, yeah. But people inboxing me like, no, bro, like that ain't read the room. The people that's telling you that that's cool to do it, are they coming to your shows? 2, they probably don't give a fuck about George Floyd. Of course they want a black dude to talk about another black dude. So I told the joke here because, I'm not on the stage, but you know what I mean?
All of this is the long way around the statement I was about to make was comedy is probably one of the most dangerous businesses in the world right now because comics are modern philosophers. They are modern situational observationalists. They are going to speak on things, but bring a little bit of lightheartedness to it. And how can you have a world where you bring this levity to a situation, but you also have this fear of social cancellation at the same time? Mm-hmm. I believe there's a difference between accountability and reckless cancellation,
Yeah, most definitely.
From when I talk to comics, this is typically a place where we kind of circle to, because my respect to you, because you are putting, as we talked about earlier, your brand on the line, and you are the brand.
Yeah, and it's tough, but it's like, that's I do clean shows too. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's tough to do a clean show. You know what I mean? I think I did like 10 minutes of crowd work out of this 20-minute set of a clean show. Because I just was like, man, I'm going to have to be clean. But I started off clean, so it wasn't like the toughest. I got a format I go by. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, me personally, I'm trying to be more mature with my jokes, more adult jokes. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. It's hard for me to be dirty. Ain't that crazy? Like, it's when I'm crowd working and freelancing, freestyling, I'm cussing. I'm calling you a bitch. You know what I mean? I call, and I really never, it's funny. I never really did that. I was in Red Oak and I called this lady a bitch, but I was just playing, of course. But they was all laughing. But the other comments was like, damn, I never heard you like do crowd work and call somebody a bitch. But not only did you call them a bitch, she liked it. She loved it. You know what I mean? So it was crazy, but it's just, I don't know what to even do anymore. You know what I mean? I really don't even, I'm writing jokes, and even my transgender dog joke, it's like, I thought it was light, and then it was light, but it was heavy as to the laughter I always get. Like, it never misses. You might see, it's talking about going to the Starbucks. Like, excuse me, sir, this is a transgender dog. This was a pit bull, but now it identifies as a Chihuahua. Light. It's not even. It's light. I didn't tell the whole joke, but it literally is light. And it was just. It's always somebody like, man, so you just don't like transgenders? It's just like, man, that's not even where I'm going with this, man. Like, did you hear the joke? I'm talking about a dog.
Do you find that a lot of your jokes come from writing in advance and structure that way? Or is it those moments where the adrenaline's rushing, you're having great interactivity with the crowd, and then you just start riffing off the top of your head?
My best jokes is crowd work, of course. And the only reason I say of course is because my top 5 performances, Des Moines, I was in Topeka, Kansas. I do a couple jokes, but if I see shit I'm going over or I'm getting light laughs, I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? You know what I mean? I'll just stop. So my laughs are better. My laughs are better crowd working. But I think it's because people see who you're talking about. They relating to who you're talking about. When you talk about your job, they're like, damn, why ain't you at your job? That's why you got to talk about main shit at your job. You got to say, you got to say at your job, like, hey, man, it's not that I hate my job. I hate the people. That's everybody at their job. I don't check the schedule to see when I work. I check the schedule to see who the fuck I work with. That's everybody at their job. You know what I mean? This person is act like they're the manager, but they ain't even a manager. You know what I mean? We're in the same position. You got those people at your job, so it's relatable. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's better when I'm like, why'd you wear this zebra dress today? You look like a fucking zebra. I'm talking to somebody, and then the whole crowd can see who I'm talking to. It's just funny. You know what I mean? And plus, you don't got to memorize so much shit. I got a routine that I memorize. You know what I mean? I always do, but again, I'm trying to be better at storytelling and having each story relate to each other.
Improvisation through relations with people
is nice. I mean, when I crowd work and when I'm on. Like when I was in Red Oak, I was on. You know what I mean? I did it at Teehee's last year. Best set I've ever had. Like I was flowing, had good jokes, but I was crowd working also. It's part of my personality because I'm already got a personality where I like everybody. Yeah. So when I'm I'm talking to people like just regular. And people are like, how do you just talk to people like that? It's just like, because that's part of my personality. I can talk like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's hard, but that's how I talk to people.
There's a really good lesson in that. I remember back in the band days when I was playing in rock bands, and I had these neighbors lived across the street from me. We had rehearsal at my house. Every time I had rehearsal, these neighbors, they homeschooled their kids. Make of that what you will. They would call the cops. Cops would show up at my house and say, hey, your neighbors across the street are complaining because you guys are too loud. You're practicing too loud. I did everything I could to soundproof my basement, make it fucking airtight, awesome. And then I was working with somebody from the Omaha Police Department that was actually a loss prevention manager for my job. So I reached out to him and I'm like, man, what do I do in this situation? He goes, what you should do is walk around the neighborhood, introduce yourself to all of the neighbors, except for the ones that keep complaining. Yeah. So I did that. I introduced myself to all of them. He said, if you invest in people, they're going to turn around and invest right back in you. And the funny thing is when I was talking to these neighbors, I would tell them about the other neighbors that were complaining and their eyes would just roll. They're really like, yeah, we've heard about it already. You guys aren't bothering us. So on and so on. And the very next practice I had, all my bandmates came over. We didn't even practice. We ordered some pizza. We watched a movie in the living room because I set a trap. The cops showed up because it was too loud and we didn't even practice. And so I showed the cops that. It was one of the most last laugh moments I've ever had in my life, but it did teach me a good lesson, very similar to what you're talking about, on how improvisation and investing in people can kind of pay forward dividends to you in any type of segment of your life, whether it be in performance, whether it be in jobs and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So adding on to that, you've created this network. Are you still doing the Three Comics Mafia?
Three Comic Mafia, yeah. We just met up with them today. We got our Food and Laughter program TV show, local TV show coming up November 19th or November 21st. November 21st.
So how is that going to be different from your previous program?
The previous program was Comedy Society, and people do 20 minutes of stand up. This is three comics, and we're interviewing an entertainer, comedian, musician, whoever, and we're interviewing them, and we're eating food at the same time. It's gonna be pretty dope.
That's amazing.
On KPAO local TV.
So where did you come up with that concept?
Man, I had the concept like last year. Ain't that crazy? That's how long things take to like develop. My concept, I take that back. I had it 2 years ago. I just thought about that. 2 years ago, I've been having this concept. It was 2 years ago. Damn. Time is going by fast. I'm getting old. Because I was actually going to do it in Denver. I was actually going to travel to different places locally, and then wherever I had a show out of town, do it there too. And I wanted to record and call it Food and Laughter or whatever, interview the comedian from that city or whatever. Now we're just going to do it locally and have people come in and eat. But I had it like 2 years ago. Well, I was going to interview John Corelli in Denver. He had booked me out there. And I was going to do it out there, but I ended up not doing it.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you just kind of put the wheels in motion and you've got it going now. And who are the other two comics in?
George Zilla and Terrence G. And together we are Three Comic Mafia. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it, man. We're definitely gonna have some fun with it.
Yes. Nice. And so in this role, you kind of act as a promoter in a roundabout way as well, also, right?
Yes, yep. Promoting as much as possible and just doing as much as possible, man. I promote, book, provide the food if needed. Like I said, it's definitely a dope concept and definitely got some things rolling with it, man.
So coming from the music space and knowing that the comedy space kind of runs in tandem with it, do you feel that a lot of talent in the Midwest, in Omaha and Lincoln in particular, can sometimes be their own worst enemy and get in their own way?
Just depends. I want to say yeah, but the only reason I say yeah is because some people do this shit for fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing this shit for fun, that's fine. But get the fuck out the way. You know what I mean? Let people that's actually trying to do this shit get on shows. You want to do this shit for fun, stay and do open mics. Well, I don't get why people want to stay local and don't want to do this at a higher level or doing this for their family and friends but if you're doing all that, do open mics and don't do a show. People that's trying to get on shows, they're doing this shit because they actually want to do this shit. I'm so confused on why people are local and I'm cool with being local. Well, I'm not cool with you being on the show then. Like, some people are really trying to do this. I know people that move to Texas, move to Colorado, move to New York, move to Cali. They're really trying to do this. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So it is what it is. But I think they're getting their own way because everybody's trying to be that main person from here or the big dog. And really, man, we all on the same boat.
Yeah.
There's people I know that open up for David Spade. People that opened up for, just comics that go to Funny Bone or whatever, but we all still here. Last time I checked.
Yeah.
And they come to the show to see you. They came to the show to see the headliner. But you can brag all you want to. I mean, that's just what it is. It's not to be insensitive or anything, but we all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Until we out of the boat. Until you're not here, we all in the same boat. So I feel like even musicians, they get in their own way and they're trying to pay to open up for some act that was hot back in the 90s or early 2000s. And they're not hot now, but they're just, the name. So they pay to play, which is ridiculous, man. I fell for that trap when I did music way back. I was like 19, 20. I fell for that trap, trying to open up for Bootsy and pay money. And then we didn't even have the auditions to do it. And he took all our money.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's pretty crazy when you're speaking my love language here, because I remember back when I was playing, and then the weekend spots at like the Waiting Room or the Slowdown or some of the big venues in town.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the most coveted spots. And when I used to put on shows, I would get emails, DMs, text messages from people like, why are you not putting me on my show? And it's like, well, because I take it seriously. And you tell me that you're just doing it for fun and you want me to do all the work and do all the promotion so you can reap all the rewards. And that's not how it works. So are there tiers, or have you noticed that there's tiers of popularity in the local comedy scene, the regional comedy scene, and the national comedy scene? Because I believe that there's a difference between being Omaha famous and Midwest famous.
Definitely. And everybody in Omaha, no diss to them.
Right.
We all on the same boat, man. Like I said, whoever can go to the Funny Bone, y'all can be connected to the Funny Bone, open up for whoever at the Funny Bone. Until people are coming to a show to see you, not anybody who's going to be at the Funny Bone and you opening for. When they come to see you, it's a different story. But see, that's why, I always wonder why, like, why these comedians never put on their own shows. Me and another comic used to say that. But then we realized that, because it's hard to promote a show. It's hard to get people to come out. And with a lot of people, when they first start off, the mistake is when you're not that good, you invite all these people. My first show was 108 people. Yeah. I had like 5 minutes worth of good material, if that. Now I got better material now, but I can't get 108 people out again.
Yeah.
Because they already seen me the first time.
Right. Yes.
So your first impressions, your last impressions. They just see me, man, he was all right, but I don't know if I'll see him again. I'm trying to get some of those same people. The people at the 108, I think I've probably only seen like maybe 15 of them since then.
Yeah.
In the past 2 years. Because I already messed up. Because I invited all these people out when I wasn't that good yet. Because I was happy. I was popular. I was like 3rd place in a contest. I'm doing all this little simmer shit that's not boiling hot. It's just simmering. And I start feeling myself a little too much.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of people thought the show was good. But comedians was like, this dude don't got it. And I didn't. But it is what it is. So there might be tiers, but I only know the local tier. I don't know anything besides that. And me personally, I got some work to do.
Right. And that's another good point is people are always there for your coronation, but they seem to drop off before you truly arrive.
Yeah. And it sucks. Like people still support me, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You just gotta get them back. And that's why I'm trying to post up. I used to post up clips like 2-3 times. I ran out of steam doing that because I don't got too much video footage. Should have did it once a week, but I was doing 2-3 videos, 3 clips a week, and I ran out of steam. So I'm like, damn, I don't even got no videos to really upload.
Yeah.
Now I got to figure out another way to connect with people. So it is tough, man. It's real tough.
Now, are you using, and this has come up on my show multiple times, but are you using TikTok as a way to promote your comedy?
I'm more popular on Instagram. It's like Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Nobody likes me on TikTok. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'll tell you the secret sauce to TikTok is consistency. So if posting too much is your enemy on Instagram and Facebook, it's actually your best friend on TikTok.
Yeah, but again, I just ran out of steam, hashtags, and then I don't know. I sort of just gave up on it. Like, I'm more popular on these platforms. TikTok is cool, but they don't like me out there. I don't got enough time, man. I just don't got enough time.
Do you use Twitter at all?
I just made another Twitter.
Yeah.
Just made another one. And I literally just made it like 2-3 days ago.
I'm the worst at using Twitter, and I know I need to get better about it.
I used to be a Twitter dude. I used to be a Twitter dude. I had this one tweet I remember years back. My old Twitter account was Bowman, but I had it since like 07, 08.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting rid of it. I was trying to take a break from social media. I didn't know you had to reactivate it before 30 days or delete. Damn, all that work on that Twitter account, man. But I had Goldberg retweet me, Scott Hall retweet me. Goldberg, the lead singer from Sugar Ray. Like, no, I've had people, the dude that played Ryan from The Office reply back to me. Like, just that Twitter account was so cool. I was like, damn, And then when I lost it, I was like, man, I don't even want to do Twitter again. When I'm doing it again just to have it.
To bring this full circle,
Yes.
It came out yesterday that Mr. Beast and Elon are talking about bringing Vine back and using it as an arm of Twitter moving forward. So have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about that.
So they're talking about bringing Vine back.
But I feel like it's too late.
But so that's kind of where I don't know. Like, I don't know where I stand on it, because if they bring, Vine was the predecessor to TikTok, right?
It was, but it's like somebody say I'm bringing MySpace, but it's dead.
Oh man!
I mean, somebody already took your idea and made it better. So trying to bring back Vine is trying to bring back something that's already reinvented and better now. You know what I mean? Like I
gotcha. It's kind of like I get your vantage point, because that's kind of like Instagram going all in on Reels as a way to compete with TikTok as well.
Oh my God, I hate it now. I hate it. Even when I post a clip of saying I'm glad to be on this, now it's a reel instead of a video. This sucks.
Right.
That's just
right. And it's sad, because the state of the world that we live in right now, we need to be well versed in all of these things in order to put ourselves over, to put our content over, to put our endeavors over. So it is stuff that's worth considering. You know, I need to get better at using Twitter. I need to get better at using YouTube myself. I've picked up some steam on TikTok, and actually I gain more listeners the more frequently I'm posting on TikTok than any other social media mechanism. But you go to Facebook, and Facebook has turned into a complete and total echo chamber. The people that you are friends with are only able to see a certain percentage of the things that you post anymore.
Yep.
So it's getting harder to promote through that. So what is your major promotional tool online?
I'm old, man. It's Facebook. It's still Facebook.
Yeah.
Those are my friends, family. That's the main thing I promote on, man. I promote on everything, but that's the main thing I get traction on.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you miss the days of MySpace? I do.
No. I love Facebook, man. I did not miss MySpace.
Oh my gosh. I must be one of the only people in the world. I absolutely.
I was not a MySpace guy. I had it because everybody else had
it. Awesome. So you've got some shows coming up here in Lincoln, Nebraska on November 17th. And you also have another show coming up November 26th. Where's that at again?
Plattsmouth, Nebraska.
Awesome. Let's talk about those shows a little bit. Who else is on the bill with you?
George Zilla and Terrence G. Yeah, they're on both shows.
Awesome.
Kim Malowski's on the one in Lincoln, and then I forgot the girl's name. I feel bad. She's the host in Lincoln. I never worked with her. I think it's like Katie Chaplin or something like that.
Fantastic. So aside from the Three Comic Mafia, do you have other local comedians that you like working with in the area?
No. Everybody's cool. I work with anybody, but I'm focused on them, and I think that's just a fair thing for me personally.
Yeah.
You know, people that I work with.
I see value in that. It's keeping your circle small and keeping it tight, and
all day.
People that you can trust and rely upon, for sure.
Yeah.
You're also in a play coming up, so that's
Play Fences. Yeah.
Gonna slow the comedy down a little bit.
Yeah, I play Lions, and so I'll be taking a break from comedy. And then I'll see if I get a shot at directing. But right now, I'm focused on the part of Lions, and just go from there, man. So I'm excited about that, man.
What's the play about?
Man, this is about racial injustice, like back in the day. About the father's trying not to have his son just focus on sports and focus on having a job. And it's a little deep. I got to read more, to be honest. I only read my part, to be honest, for it, but I definitely got to read more on it. But it should be a good show.
Sweet. So what inspired you to get involved with that?
Just do something different.
Yeah.
Just want to do something different, man. And I tried it and knocked it out the park, man. So I'm happy, man. I'm very, very excited. So what's something in this world that brings you joy?
My son. Son brings me a lot of joy, man. I don't think I like being anything more than a dad, man.
Yeah.
Honestly. Maybe look at life different. I still fuck up. But it's fuck up with a purpose. Just like, damn, man, I'm fucking up. Oh, I gotta quit fucking up. I can't fuck up this much because I got a son now. You know what I mean? So it is a lot different on the thinking process. It's funny because I got a joke about that too, about how I couldn't sell weed as a dad. You know what I mean? Because I probably named the weed strands after kid TV shows. Like, hey man, I got that Peppa Pig, man. You want some of that Peppa Pig? You know what I mean? Like, I got some of that cocoa melon. You want to smoke some of this cocoa melon? It's still a work in progress, but it's hit the last couple times I've done it.
Amazing. So, where do you see yourself in comedy 1 year from today?
1 year from today, probably still here. I'll be super honest with you, man. Not in a bad way, Hopefully, a more seasoned comic. Hopefully, get a chance at a club or be a regular in a club. Not a lot, but there's a small group of comedians that are always at the Funny Bone. Probably be nice to be up there, but a year from today, I wouldn't say the same position because offenses go good and a couple other things go good. You know what I mean? I'll definitely be in a different in a different spot or whatever the case may be. But a year from today, just a better comic.
Yes.
A nice 30. I've been doing 30s, but to be honest with you, they've been stretching. I've been stretching them. I had a special. It should never been called a special. Nothing against myself. I can do way better than that. I can have way better jokes than that. It flowed. It worked. But no, I want to have a legit special, legit jokes, no crowd work. And yeah, just go from there, man.
I really appreciate your sense of realism and understanding that there's levels to this shit. And you have to allow yourself room to evolve. And sometimes you can shoot too high too soon.
And I did. And I think I did, especially call something special. I just got excited, man. I felt again too much. But that's why I took it down. I actually had it up and I took it down. I edited some clips off of it. There's some funny moments, but you can record all you want to. You can make a show, but you don't have to call it a special. And I got to respect the art. Somebody sort of called me out and aired my feelings, but they didn't really call me out. It was a subliminal post like everybody do. They're talking about you, but they won't say it's about you. Like that's these keyboard warriors out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But, I lived and I learned, and I'm gonna just keep writing and keep getting better.
That's amazing. So, final thought, what is your advice for making the world a better place the way you see it right now?
Having an open mind, understanding where somebody's coming from, sticking to your guts and sticking to your principles, your morals, but always see two sides of a story and see two sides of any situation, so everybody can have a better understanding before it gets to that level of somebody's feelings getting hurt. Always have an open mind, even if somebody, like, it sounds crazy, somebody called me, a racial slur, they didn't work. Let's just be blunt about it. First reaction I'm supposed to get mad, right? I'm supposed to be pissed. I'm supposed to be this, but let's get to why you called me this in the first place. Let's get to that part. And I'm saying I'm gonna tell you you're right for calling me that, but let's get to that part. Why did they get to this level of disrespect? Why did they get to you saying this? See, because you hear somebody with that, they're gonna be like, damn, hold on, I thought he was gonna blow up. My last job, which I quit, I don't have a job. Some dude was recording me, and I didn't know, but even he called me racist because I didn't put his phone number into the tablet, but I asked the next person their phone number. But I thought he was sitting down and we yell out the names of people that's coming to eat.
Right.
So then I go outside. I'm like, hey, well, you recording me? He said, yeah, y'all do it all the time. And I'm like, bro, what's going on, man? I'm like, who is y'all? Like, why? What? You know who y'all is. Y'all do this all the time. So now I'm recording you. And I'm like, hey, man, what's going on, man? Like, is this about, like, this, what is this about? Like, me putting your name in, how long you got to wait? And he said I was racist. And I was racist because The person behind them, I put their phone number in. I said, well, they were also white. So what?
Right.
That person was white too. That was behind you. But they said, I said, hey, are you staying in here? No, we're gonna go outside. So that's why I put their phone number in, because they said they was gonna go outside.
Right.
So he called me racist, and it was I was trying to get an understanding of why, but again, he didn't want to care. He didn't want to talk to me, and this is why it's not why I'm not at my job, but guess what my job did, because they want to keep customers. They gave him $40 to go to another First Watch. $40 gift cards to go to another First Watch since he's so uncomfortable eating here. So we just gave a guy $40 for being racist towards your manager because you're worried about a Yelp review? Oh, man, I can go on about that job, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Well, I tell you what, man, it is a pleasure getting to know you. I'm glad we're friends. We're going to have to do this again with the whole mafia and in person. So thank you, Lavetti Vegas. Everybody check him out, LavettiVegas.com. Give him a follow on all forms of social media as soon as you can. Yep. Thank you, my friend. The world's a better place with you in it.
Hey, man, better place with you in it, too. I'm finally glad we got to do this. Thank you for having me as a guest on Caught on the Mic, man, for real.
I want to once again thank my friend Trenton, a.k.a. Lavetti, for being on the show today. It was a great conversation. We kind of had to change locations towards the end there. I'm sure you noticed the difference, but we got it knocked out of the park. You can visit him at LavettiVegas.com and check out all of his social media. I know there will be a name change happening soon. He's going to go by his real name really soon, so keep an eye out for that. While you're giving people a follow, make sure you follow Caught on the Mic on all forms of social media. Visit me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also visit me at www.caughtonthemic.com, and I always appreciate a positive review on your favorite podcasting platform. This has been Caught on the Mic with Michael Clark. I'm Michael Clark. Until next time, thank you.